Good lesson, okay-ish sequel. Hi everyone, I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and I've got an interesting one to talk to you about tonight. And it is Finally Heard by Kelly Yang. If you've watched some of the other videos on my channel, you'll remember that I previously talked about Finally Seen, this book's prequel, some time ago. And in that story, Lena Gao was living with her grandmother in China while her mom and dad and younger sister Millie went to America. They told her how great things were and how well they were set up. And when she went to America, because her grandmother had to move into a home that could take better care of her, things were not as they seemed. And Finally Seen was a great story about fitting in and all the challenges and stresses that went with being in a new place, being unfamiliar to your own family, and I quite enjoyed it. And this is a direct sequel that takes up the story a little while later. As the story starts, Lena's mom is still operating her out-of-the-home bath bomb business. They make the bath bombs themselves and sell them, and at the end of the first book, things were going okay with that business. Lena and her sister had a couple of good ideas for her mom. Things were going smoothly, but as this story starts, business has slowed right down. There are a ton of competitors doing much the same thing or selling mass market ones through Etsy, and their mom is having a hard time keeping up. So they decide on a new strategy. They decide that their mom needs a social media strategy. At first, they try to contact an influencer to talk up their mom's bath bombs, but the influencer wants something like $5,000 for a single video, and that's just not in the budget. So they have to make a small video on their own, and it gets lots of views, and business starts picking up, and things go from there. Lena and her sister and their mom all get involved in making videos and coming up with ways to promote their products. Their mom gets a nickname as the Modern Mama, and she starts talking about parenting stuff in her videos. Some of the comments aren't always really nice, but by and large, it's working and business is going better. Fairly quickly, everything with Lena's mom falls to the background of the story, and the bulk of the book is taken up by her own challenges with social media, dealing with her classmates and friends being online all the time and her not being online because she doesn't have a phone to start the book, and then getting wrapped up in some not so fun stuff through Discord chat and social media and other things, culminating in a pretty bad cyberbullying attempt. Running through these other two stories is that Lena is starting to go through puberty, and she's not having an easy time with it. She's really having a hard time with her changing body and dealing with the realization that she has to think about how she stands now, and does she need deodorant, and does she need a bra, and so on. And that interweaves through everything else that's going on as she's becoming a more public-facing person through the social media thing. So it has those three plot threads going throughout the book, and they work more or less well together. And the challenges Lena faces are very real and relevant, and it's fine. As a sequel to Finally Seen, I was disappointed. I had hoped for more. Lena in this book is not recognizable as the heroine of that first story. She's adapted, other than a few Amelia Bedelia-esque misunderstandings of one or two words. The struggles she had in the first book no longer exist. She's fully a part of her family. She's fully a part of her culture. She's fully a part of her classroom. The things she relied on to get her through in the first book are not as important anymore. And this this ends up just basically being a story about the social media thing, and it's largely a cautionary tale. Okay, I've already started talking about why I'm sort of giving a moderate recommendation to this, other than the strong recommendation I gave the previous one, but I think it's time to talk about the dealer breaker. There's some spoilers ahead. Okay, there are a few deal breakers for this one. First off, this isn't the sequel I want. The social media story is fine, but it could have been a standalone book. Kelly Yang did not have to use this character for this book. It made no difference that Lena was in here. She could have had a random new character, and it wouldn't have made the tiniest bit of difference, honestly. Which is disappointing. I think Lena and her family deserve better. Second, I understand that Lena starting to go through puberty was challenging and confusing and embarrassing and so on, and that maybe she wouldn't be comfortable opening up to her mom about it. But at the end of the book, her mom reveals that, well, yeah, we knew you were going through it, and we wanted to make sure we could get everything squared away in the right way. And all I could think was, if you realized all this was happening, you wouldn't have taken your daughter out to get her a training bra, at least? Or even think about talking to her about deodorant or other stuff? Just leaving it so you can get things set up perfectly? It seemed odd. It seemed out of place. I guess the implication is that her mom was so tied up with her social media stuff and making videos for her business that maybe she put things on the back burner, but it seemed odd. It seemed like it was pushed off just for the sake of having that not be resolved until the end of the book. The overarching social media plot and revealing the problems of an online society and so on to kids is a good idea, but everything related to Lena's teacher came across as really, really clunky to me. The fact that she would sit there and fall for the stuff the kids are doing to secretly watch their phones, and that she wouldn't have caught them a million times before now, and the fact that she doesn't confiscate phones at the beginning of their class, and that these kids are somehow still listening well enough to hear talk about dopamine and how cell phones trigger it and other stuff. I'm not a teacher, but in my line of work, I do run instructional sessions and library tours and the like, where I have to deal with a class, and it all felt very out of place to me. Yang's a good author, but I think she would have been better served by cutting this story in two, having the Lena sequel with her going through puberty and maybe a little bit of the Discord and stuff happening, and then all the heavy-duty social media and warnings and addiction and everything in a completely different book. I think it would have made for two stronger books, to be honest. Still, if you liked Finally Seen and you'd like to give Finally Heard a try, go borrow it from your public library. While I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell a mayor, tell a council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving the materials, programs, and services they offer. And a few good words in the writers might make a world of difference. If by some chance you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thanks for listening to me waffle about this one. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back to see what else I have to talk about from the Cow Hat Library. Thank you. Bye now.